Well, we're back online, folks, and pretty exciting time in New Zealand motorcycling for me and a lot of other people. This is the first, pretty much the first time the Gixxer120 Cup bikes have been out on the track. Some of them were out here on Saturday, and that was just a tour around, you know, amongst other bikes as big as super bikes. There was all sorts of bikes here at a MotoGP test day. Here they've been instructed that it's a wet day, we're not racing, so it's not an out-and-out thing, but they'll tell you what, there's transponders on them and the flag sort of dropped there, so there will be some of that sort of stuff going on. After all, we're here to race. Right now, I can tell you there's 2 or 3 bikes out there with absolutely brand new tyres on, and that will make it very, very tricky while they just get round there and bed these tyres in, because new tyres don't need the bedding in of old tyres, the old days, but what they still carry is a releasing agent. There's a little film of sticky stuff there on the surface, and this is the spray they spray into the moulds at the tyre factory, and they use this so the rubber doesn't stick, or whatever, and the nylon, whatever they're made out of these days, doesn't stick into the moulds, and that is present on some of the bikes. And I guess as time evolves, we're going to have to instruct these riders, and they're going to have to learn, because a lot of them are new to the sport, that this is how you prepare a new tyre, so it's all good as gold out on the track. You know, you might see some of the superbike guys not too worried about it, but they certainly wouldn't go out in very wet conditions like that. They'd go out and just break their tyres in more gently, or just spray it with the brake clean to do that. But anyway, it looks like we've all got round a couple of laps slowly. It's a matter of leaning the bikes over forward, and there seems to be a couple of groups of 3. These are a wonderful innovation from New Zealand motorcycling. $6,000, actually less than that. 5,995 gets you the bike as you see it there, with enough spares to run it for a bit of time. And that's these guys are dressed as well. Guys and girls are all dressed. They're all in matching product. The bikes, of course. Some of them are not quite finished. In the early days when they were building the bikes, the belly pans, the catch trays for in case they blew their motors up, were not available. So some of these bikes have them on, some won't have them on. They are all included in the package, so they will be available or supplied to retrofit. The $6,000 package gets you a set of leathers. We see somebody going white there into turn 3, pushing it to the limit. It gets you the set of leathers, it gets you the helmet, it gets you some boots, and it gets you some gloves, and I guess it gets you the back protector requirements as well, and chest protector. I'm not too sure about that, but at the end of the day, that is all high quality stuff. When they said they were going to get matching leathers, I was wondering whether they're going to get something that's just really not as superior as some other products. But no, Alpine Stars, Bell Helmets. Bell Helmets is one of the leading helmet manufacturers. Alpine Stars, you'll see MotoGP riders riding in their leathers. So an outstanding package, and Suzuki New Zealand have the spares, and we'll have them at the tracks. So if you bin your bike and need another fairing or master cylinder or tailpiece or seat, they should have the spares on board. And when you buy these bikes, you're basically signing up to ride the Suzuki series, the Taupo round on, I think, the second weekend of December, then the Manfeild round here, and these were the big boys. These are with the super bikes, the Formula 1 bikes they call them at the Suzuki series, and also the sidecars, all the motard classes. They are looking at running this class at Wanganui. The class is structured for 14 to 21 year olds, but to run at a street circuit at Wanganui you must be at least 16, and also you must have done 3 meetings in the lead up to it. It's standard for all road racing riders that want to go to a street circuit. It definitely is standard. It's not something they're just slamming on you for something like the Gixxer Cup. It depends on the numbers the cemetery circuit get to enter, on whether they actually work out whether it's a viable race to put on, where you're getting maybe 15,000 people in the spectator stand. It's got to be. I've no doubt it's a slow class. Well, compared with the other bikes this weekend, it's not, but it's certainly a slow class. But it's going to be a tight, action-packed class with the dicing going on and that sort of thing. It's going to be a real tight bit of racing over the seasons, and I congratulate Suzuki New Zealand for doing it. So. And then after the cemetery circuit, there is the New Zealand Superbike Championships. I think it's about the 5th or 6th or 7th or 8th of January down at Ruapuna in Christchurch, just out of Christchurch, and the next weekend at Timaru at Levels. And once again, joined in with the New Zealand Superbike Championships. I'm sure if you want to do this series and Yep, sorry if you want to do this series and having trouble with transport, you could talk to some of the guys maybe on Facebook or on the internet somehow and see if you can squeeze your little Gixxer Cup bike in a truck with, or a van that somebody else is travelling around the country with. Okay, let's talk about who's on the track. We got 2, 4, 6, 7 bikes out there on the track, with one just pulled up as they were going out onto the track, so he's getting his bike out of the van and doing it as we speak. So the fastest on the track at the moment is Cameron Goldfish. In terms of lap times, we've got the fastest man, Cameron Goldfish, on number 28. I've no idea which bike he's on, to be honest, apart from the numbers, and I can't see them. Hello, somebody runs wide and gets both feet off the pegs there coming onto the front straight, and I guess they're going to need a bit of a rethink about whether they wear the same underpants for this afternoon, and that is bike, I think, 38, Will Derby Hoffman. Oh, look at that, mate, already. First lap, Oliver Dennison's out there. He's the one that was driving in before. He's already put in the fastest lap at a 155. So we got one bike there on 155. We've got one on 156. We've got 2 on 158. And we've got one there on 2 on 159. So that's impressively tight lap times there already in the piece. And as they tuck in with each other and start to play with the slipstream, which is a hugely important part of motorcycle racing, and especially with a bike with such low power as these machines exhibit, such low power, but they all are all the same, the slipstream will be absolutely vital. 157.445 is the new track record for Cameron Goldfish. This won't be official. This won't be official because for a start, we've gone under that. We've gone into the 155s, but a lap record must be done under race conditions. It can't be done in qualifying. It can't be done in the practice laps. It must be set during a race meeting. They are running the standard red lights, so you will see some of the bikes are wired up to have just the tail lights going. Other bikes may have the brake light facility going. I can see one going into the hairpin. That could even be Oliver Dennison, who might not have been at riders briefing this morning to hear that switch your tail lights on, because I went round the pit shed and I made sure that all the bikes that I saw had their tail light switch on. It is an MNZ rule. Once the meeting is declared wet, they must run tail lights, and there is a certain standard tail light. Of course, they get away with it on these Suzukis. Well, not get away with it, they've got better tail lights than anyone else, because they've got the factory tail lights there. So it was that some good battles starting to happen out there, and now we've got Cameron Goldfish, who was an earlier fastest lap man before Oliver Dennison took over. Cameron Goldfish has now gone around there in the 153.500, a 153.5. Remember, this is a full circuit, so that's setting the benchmark of what sort of times we can expect at for the Suzuki series. And remember, this is in the wet as well, so I'll say we're going to peel quite a few seconds off that once the guys start to scrubbing their tyres properly, get used to it, and the competition comes through and shows people faster lines. A lot of these people haven't come from road racing background whatsoever, so some of them are dirt bike riders, some of them are just clean to the sport, new to the sport, as we see number 17, Justin Mounder, coming through down the start-finish line. Well, I think what I'm going to do is disappear downstairs and do some interviews from down there. That was what I understood was going to happen. Yep, Tim's coming through to point out some changes. Yep, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to disappear down the bottom, I think, with the handheld mic and actually do a couple of interviews. So you'll have to do that up here, Tim. Sorry, that's just a bit of administration inside that all the people out there heard. I'm going to watch another lap or so from up here. They've got quite a bit of time out on the track. It's good, clean. We had a couple of bikes went down, number 17 and 34 on Saturday. Conditions were perfect there, but like any motorsport, people will push it to the limits and find out where the edge is, and sometimes go past that. There's a bit of the example of the slipstreaming with Oliver Dennison, I think, and William Derby Hoffman down the front straight, tucking in behind. It's a matter of working out where to pull out and where to do the braking, making the corner as short as possible. You go the high line, it's often the right way to do it on a big superbike, and that way you've got the power to get out, but it makes the track longer. So there was a change of position there quite substantially between those two bikes, and they get monstered by another two. So I don't know what's going on there. Maybe the guy's got a problem there on that machine. Can't. It's a number 338, I think it is, Will Derby Hoffman, but the numbers in the distance there, unless I get the binoculars, I can't read them at all. They're just such small numbers. That's how life is with most of the classes. We get used to the colours. Us commentators get used to the colours of the bikes and the colours of the helmet. Well, it's a little bit harder here. Oliver did is a 151.474, so he's 2 seconds quicker than the last quickest lap. It was, excuse me, Cameron Goldfish 153.5. Well, 151, that's 2 seconds quicker. I don't know whether that's an indication whether the track's drying up or Oliver's just got his stuff sorted out and he's getting around the track as fast as he can, like everybody is out there, but he's just getting faster and faster. Remember, he did Saturday here as well. Right, I'm going to go for a walk.